Welcome to Glaucoma Traveller, Episode 8, York Minster. So on my visit to York, I visited York Minster. And I was staying at Dean's Court Hotel, which is only a stone's throw away from the York Minster itself. You can't get much closer if you wanted to book a hotel to get near to York Minster. And one of the things I did do was that I booked this well in advance from a ticket into York Minster. So I chose to go for 9:30, which is the first available time slot. And I thought, well, it will be busy because York is always busy, but at least at 9:30 it may not be as, might not be too busy. And as I walked up to the Minster itself, and there's still quite a few people there. There are about 20, 30 people there, which is not too bad for 9:30 in the morning, but probably not at the height of the busy period. So because I'd booked in advance and had a digital ticket, I was able to bypass the main queue because there's two queues. There's the on-the-spot sort of queue which you go and pay. And of course, there's another queue is where you can go in if you've got a digital ticket. So that's fine. Walked up the steps into the Minster and had a wander around. And the good thing about the Minster is that obviously the main building is flat, but there are areas obviously where there are steps, and these steps are quite deep. They're not narrow in certain as you may expect them to be, but you still need to be careful. But on the whole, it is flat and even surface, and you can walk around quite easily. But like I say, there's the various elements where there are steps, but in some areas there is actually step-free access or ramps, which I thought was very good. Ramps to the to some of the main areas of the Minster, but even though you go the ramps, there's still some steps for some people to get near to things. So they can't make it 100%, but it was pretty well laid out. There's certain parts of where the choristers are, and the area where chorister master would be there conducting them, shall we say. There's some steps behind there. But generally speaking, it was a really nice visit, and one of the things about York Minster is it's really, really interesting in that it goes back well into the medieval age. And there's also the undercroft. Now there are steps down there, but there's also a lift you can go down. But I went down the steps. And the undercroft is quite well laid out in the sense that it's underneath the Minster. And there's lots of treasures, and in the sense that priest gowns and stuff like that, and quite a wide variety of implements and old books and things like that, and artifacts. But the main area, it is quite it's a bit of a maze to walk around. The only thing I would point out to a lot of people, and this is what I sort of fed back to them after my visit, was there are areas where you enter the undercroft and they become rather narrow. And the trouble is, obviously, you've got to wait. If you're going out that way, you've got to wait for other people to come through before you can exit. There's an area there, and it's got like an octagon area, which got some glass over, which shows you the earliest foundations of the Minster. And it's not very wide on the left-hand side of that. As I'm walking out, it's on my left-hand side, is this main walkway. The problem being is that if you're visually impaired, there's not a great deal of contrast between this octagon and the floor that leads out, and it could do with some lighting, some strips of lighting down one side, for instance. Because I moved to one side to let these people out, thinking that I could go around the side of the octagon, but I couldn't. So there was the lighting was quite poor there. but as you walk through the undercroft, and of course the lighting is reduced so that it doesn't affect some of the artifacts down there. But I would say that in certain areas they could do with some low-level lighting, perhaps. So there's good contrast between the items and the exhibition cases and the floor and other areas. So that could be done a bit better. But it was a very worthwhile visit, and I thought it was very interesting. What I would say is, if you're in a wheelchair, although you could go down the lift, I'd say it was really a bit tight for, unless you've got a normal standard wheelchair. If you've got anything other than a normal standard wheelchair, you may find it a bit difficult down the undercroft to get around. My impression of it was that, yes, you could probably get a normal standard wheelchair down there, but nothing more. Because of this area that was spoken of earlier about the narrowness of the walkway. But otherwise, it was a very worthwhile visit. And the other thing I would say is, the way out, you can't go. I was going out the way I came in, because I'm thinking, I'm like that. I just God. But you couldn't. You had to go out. They made you go out through the shop. Well, I understand. They want to make some money on it, but if you're mobility impaired, I would not say that that's the best way to go out of the building. I'm sure there's another entrance or exit somewhere, but fair play to them. You go through the shop and hope you're going to buy something on your way in there and then go out. But I didn't. I went straight out. But I'd say that the shop I'd say it's a little bit cluttered, really. And I think they could do a lot better with the layout of the shop. I mean, obviously they don't want you to go straight through and straight out the door and not buy anything, but it didn't stop me from doing it. But as a historic building, there's not many finer than York Minster. You can. I think I was there for at least an hour and a half. I think it was, wandering around, taking photos and video and all sorts of bits and pieces. Going backwards and forwards. Because you can go around the building as many times as you want. And because if you go to a part of the building and say there's a lot of people there, and you think, oh well, I'll just bob over to somewhere else and come back later, and there's not many people there, or there's no people there, then you can take your photograph or whatever, and do whatever you want. But I found it quite interesting, and it is, considering the age of the building and everything about it, it's quite, it's just so interesting and historical, and it's not far away from everywhere else. It's not in the middle of nowhere, so to speak. It's not after you have to go a great distance. It obviously didn't. It wasn't a great distance from me at the Dean Court Hotel, because that was about 20 yards away. So you can't get much nearer to the Minster than that. And if you walk through, there's the Dean's Courtyard, there's a little sort of remembrance garden there as well, and then that's on the left-hand side as you look at the Minster, and on the right-hand side there's pavement, pedestrian access all the way through to another part of you can go around the side of the Minster and see the stonemasons work, replacing all the stones that have sort of crumbling because of the environment and stuff of the past many thousand years or so. And then just around the corner there's a little parade of shops, and there's quite a nice little coffee shop there. So I visited that, but and from then on you can explore York and the other bits and pieces, the shambles and what have you, and you can go walk through the shambles, look at the shops there, and then come out the other side, and you got the walk along the castle walls if you want, which I did for a little while, and There's quite a lot to do in York. I wasn't there very long. I was there 2 nights. So the first day was mainly me coming from the station to the hotel. I got a taxi because I had a couple of cases with me, so otherwise I would have walked it. But the Dean's Court Hotel that I stayed at is not far away from. It's not too far away. It's a 5-minute taxi ride away. You know, something like that. Nothing difficult, but I didn't want to chance it with the cases that I had with me, so I went there. So you're not far away from the station, and you're not far away from the shambles. You know, you've got to go back down to the station, obviously, to go to the National Railway Museum if you want to do that. But on my first day there, I did. I had a little walk around, and just to get my bearings again, because I haven't been to York for about 10 years or so. So yeah, it must have been like that. So, but even then, we didn't. When I went with a friend, we didn't go. We didn't go into the Minster then. We just went around York and what have you. So I had to sort of reacquaint myself with York. And on the second day, that's when I did the Minster, visit the Minster and the walk on the walls. Fortunately, I had some decent weather, and just had like I say, a walk around. I think you could base yourself there quite easily and do quite a bit of York and elsewhere. There's plenty to do if you want to, if history's your thing and you want to. The Treasurer's House in York is really nice if you go and look at that. And of course, there's Jorvik Centre and stuff. But I've done that, and once you've done that once, you don't want to really do it again. It's one of those things that, okay, I've done it. But yeah, York Minster. Do go along and visit it, and it's well worth the money. With regards to accessibility, there is step-free access into the Minster. There's a choice of ramped or stepped access with handrails from Precentor's Court, which leads through the outer doorway and glass porch to the admissions desk. The Minster is open Monday to Saturday, 9 until 4:30 p.m, and that's the last admission at 4:30, and from 12:45 to 3 on Sundays. There's a charge to enter the Minster, and it's £12.50 for adults. Well, that's all for now. I hope you've enjoyed this little podcast. See you later. Bye-bye.